Every new technology offers us a bargain, a kind of Faustian deal. It gives us a new power, a new convenience, a new freedom. The printing press gave us mass literacy, the telescope gave us the stars, the computer gives us access to all the world's information. But as Neil Postman, one of the 20th century's most brilliant cultural critics, warns us, every new technology also takes something away. It changes our habits, it redefines our relationships, it alters our very sense of what is real and what is important. In his powerful and prophetic book, Technopoly, written long before the age of smartphones and social media, Postman argues that we have made a dangerous trade. We have moved beyond just using technology as a tool, and we have entered a new and treacherous phase of culture, a phase where technology itself has become the culture. He calls this state Technopoly. Today on Geeky Philosopher, we are going to explore this profound and urgent diagnosis of our modern world. This is a journey to understand how we have surrendered our culture to our tools and what we must do to reclaim it. To understand the danger of Technopoly, we first have to understand the journey that brought us here. Postman outlines 3 distinct phases in the relationship between a culture and its tools. First, there are tool-using cultures. For most of human history, this is what we were. In these societies, tools are used to solve specific practical problems: how to hunt, how to build a shelter. But the tools do not attack the core beliefs or the central story of the culture. The tools are integrated into the culture, but they do not define it. Then, starting around the late Middle Ages with inventions like the mechanical clock and the printing press, we entered a technocracy. In a technocracy, the tools are no longer integrated into the culture, they are actively attacking it. The old worldview of tradition, religion, and myth is being challenged by a new worldview of scientific progress, efficiency, and objectivity. There is a conflict, a tension between these two ways of seeing the world. But in the 20th century, Postman argues, America became the world's first technopoly, and this is a completely new and dangerous state. In a technopoly, the old worldview is not just being challenged, it has been completely obliterated. The only story that remains is the story of technological progress. So what is a technopoly? It is a society in which technology is deified. It is a culture that seeks its authorization in technology, finds its satisfactions in technology, and takes its orders from technology. In a technopoly, all other cultural narratives, religion, tradition, history, art, are seen as irrelevant. The only thing that matters is efficiency, technical calculation, and the relentless pursuit of more information. A technopoly believes that the primary, if not the only goal of human life is to solve the problem of how to be more productive, how to be more efficient, how to live longer. It is obsessed with means, but it has completely lost sight of any meaningful ends. It can tell you how to do something faster, but it can no longer tell you why you should be doing it in the first place. The core belief of a technopoly is that all problems are, at their root, technical problems that can be solved with more data and better technology. Human suffering, social conflict, even the mysteries of life and death are not seen as philosophical problems, but as engineering problems waiting for a technological solution. One of the defining features of a technopoly is its relationship with information. We live in an age of information overload. We have more access to more data than any society in human history. We see this as an unalloyed good, but Postman argues it is a profound and dangerous problem. He says we are suffering from an information glut. We are drowning in a sea of context-free facts, disconnected data points, and trivial updates. This creates a situation where the information-to-action ratio is completely out of whack. In the past, the information people received was almost always directly relevant to their lives, and they could act upon it. You learned that a storm was coming, so you fixed your roof. Today we are bombarded with information about global crises, political scandals, and distant tragedies that we are almost completely powerless to influence. This, Postman argues, does not make us more engaged citizens. It makes us more passive and more impotent. We know of many things, but we have lost the ability to act meaningfully on almost any of them. The glut of information has become a source of paralysis. The most dangerous aspect of a technopoly is that its worldview becomes invisible. It no longer feels like an ideology, it just feels like the natural, common-sense way the world works. We have come to believe that if something cannot be measured, it is not real. We trust the objective output of a computer model more than we trust the subjective wisdom of a human being. We believe that a problem is not truly solved until we have a technical solution for it. Postman warns that this way of thinking is an attack on what it means to be human. It redefines us. We are no longer beings with a soul, with a rich inner life, with a sense of sacredness. In a technopoly, a human being is just an inefficient, error-prone information processing machine. The experts in this new world are not the philosophers or the priests. They are the statisticians, the technicians, and the scientists. They are the only ones who are allowed to speak with authority about what is true. So what is the solution? How do we live a meaningful human life inside a technopoly? Postman is not a Luddite. He does not suggest that we smash our computers and abandon technology. The solution is not to go backward, but to become more conscious. He calls for us to become loving resistance fighters. This means we must not be angry, hateful critics of technology. We must use our tools, but we must not allow our tools to use us. We must be conscious of the bargain every new technology offers. We must ask of every new technology, what does it take away, what does it give, and is it worth the price? It requires us to actively cultivate and defend the human parts of our lives that a technopoly cannot measure and does not value. The world of art, of religion, of tradition, of deep, unquantifiable human connection. It is a call to remember that efficiency is not the same as wisdom, that information is not the same as knowledge, and that the most important questions of our lives are not technical problems, but philosophical ones. This book is a powerful and necessary wake-up call. It is a reminder that our tools are not just neutral objects, they are powerful forces that are shaping our minds, our culture, and our very definition of what it means to be human. If you are someone who believes in being a conscious and critical user of technology, who is dedicated to preserving the rich, soulful, and unquantifiable parts of the human experience, then you are a loving resistance fighter. Consider subscribing to Geeky Philosopher, where we are dedicated to exploring the ideas that help us remain human in a technological age. Thank you for your time.